Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to perafilozof City Skylines videos. In this one I'm going to continue building up the city in which I plan to reach 1 million population on the hard mode. Now I have no idea what just happened here, but let's continue with building up the city. In the previous episode I had started using the policy for tax reduction, I think it's called tax relief, for high density buildings in the new zones to help the new zones have lower taxes. But today while I was editing one of the new videos I figured out that why should I not then use the other policy as well. For example, there is a tax raise for high density residential areas. So what I could do is go through all of my districts where I have residential, increase their taxes with that policy, but reduce the taxes globally down to 9%. Then when I use that plus 2% to raise, I will bring back the taxes up to 11 on the entire city, while here where I would go minus 2 I would have taxes at just 7%. So that should be a real boost for these areas, the newest areas that are zoned, for them to gain more residential buildings being built up. Another thing that I was thinking about is how to get rid of the pollution problem created by these water treatment plants, because the pollution gets closer and closer to my water pumping stations. Then I took a look at this lake over here. I don't think it has a source of water because the water isn't flowing anywhere. So I was thinking of placing a few water pumps here, turning off a few of these over here and seeing what would happen if I start pumping out this water. Would it disappear? Would this be empty? Would it be even buildable if I were to pump out all the water? So it's an interesting experiment and I would like to see what will happen. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these here, connect them all to each other, connect them to the existing grid, and then I will go down here and turn off 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This will also make sure that none of these pumps suck up any pollution, and I will soon probably need to expand my total capacity for sewage, so the pollution will get even closer over here. Now because I've turned these off, I'm not sure, are they going to get power through? I think they are. Even a turned off building will get the power to the building next to it. Well, over here I will need to bring the power to these new pumps from here. This should now make sure that I have enough capacity. It should stay the same because I built 5 and turned off 5 of them. Yep, that's it. And now to go with what happened with the power. Why is this area what happened? Oh, because this one is lowered. It should be raised for the upper part of the city to get power. I see. So page up. That should fix it. There we go. And power is back on. Okay. Smallish problem solved very quickly. As I was trying to say, I am gonna go through the city and increase the tax on all the residential areas that I have already built by using the policy for tax raise for high density, while I'm going to reduce the tax globally down to just 9%. Alright, so now I am done. These last two areas will have the tax relief, while all the areas of residential before them will have a tax raise. So this will make sure that all the old residential areas have 11% taxes, while the new will have just 7% taxes. This hopefully will make sure that new zones of residential are going to be more interesting to new teams to move in, because the taxes will be so low. I hope that this works out, and I'm hoping that the taxes themselves can influence the residential zones to have such higher demand that these areas are going to get filled. As for the number of jobs, I see that I've almost employed all of my available workforce, so I will need to build up new jobs over here. If I have this area as commercial, this next area is residential. I think I want it to be a little bit thicker So I'll go one more line of residential here, and then after that 2 lines of commercial. I need to add here some new. Actually, these streets are kind of bad for zoning. I'm not sure that this happened after I built this ramp here. I believe it did. So if I want good zones, I will probably need to redo the streets. Let's see, is that going to make sure that these zones are okay once again? I think it will. Yeah. It's annoying that I have to waste money on rebuilding streets after adding these ramps. And then again, in that case, why am I not using a bit shorter streets so that later on I do not have to destroy so much and waste so much money? That's a good idea. This one actually looks good. Or not. This last one looks bad. There. Much better zoning areas. And now let's get this one back here. 4x4, pretty nice. And after that, 2 areas or 4x4 commercial. 1, 2, and then 4x4 of offices, and then 4x4 industry. That should be everything. After that, I can get a new cross street. I believe this one will have to be a two-way 2-lane. I haven't built one in a while. Actually, this one is a two-way 2-lane, so no, this one can be a ramp going from the right to left. Let's see, where would that go then? Through here? Like this. Not the best. Pretty annoying that it would go like that. I guess I can skip this. What? Okay. I will skip that street entirely and just go this way. And that's pretty much done. Can go beneath. And I will need a new off-ramp somewhere about here very soon. Now it's not gonna go underneath it, but that's still fine. I will just make it manually. Okay, that's pretty much done. I see a lot of new buildings popping up here. Do they have power and water? Yes, they do. Do they have park coverage? Well, not that good. I'm going to need a new park down here if I want good park coverage for this area. Let's see, something that can fit in here. Can I go any lower? I think I can, over here. And this side for now I won't make any new parks, although I might as well build one over here. I just need to extend the street first, but I don't think I can get it next to this pillar. Again, I'll have to do it manually. Okay, and now park should fit right here. That's pretty much done. Did the reduction of taxes do anything for these areas? I still do not see any new buildings. How about in the old ones? Nope, I don't see any new ones here either. That is rather annoying. The population is a bit higher, but that could be just because of the higher birth rate. No, actually I have a higher death rate than a birth rate. So it must be that they are moving in somewhere, perhaps maybe in these areas. I guess it could be. I am going to zone them back. I hope that they are going to build up in these areas. I seem to have missed one road upgrade here. Let me fix that. Over here, nope, nothing. So nothing is building up here when it comes to the residential areas, but that's kind of understandable because the taxes here are at 11%. The taxes over here are at 7%, and I hope that this will lead to more buildings being built up. The population is higher by about 500, I think, so they're definitely coming into my city, but they might just not be building any new buildings here and filling up the old neighborhoods. Now, an additional thing that I was thinking about checking out was the service coverage from high schools, for example. Yep, high school here. I will need a new one over here. I will need to extend the roads to create enough room for a high school here. This should also help level up these buildings here because they seem to level up more easily if they have access to schools. Well, they don't have access to schools. They simply are covered by the area effect of a school, high school, university, and therefore they request them like a service and they level up. What's going on here to few services? Could be that I don't have a metro or a bus stop here. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Let me slow down the game while I get more bus stops here. I will now have a problem with the bus lines if this street is not connected into this highway ramp. I will try and redo it so that there is a connection here. It's probably gonna mess up some of the zones here for offices, commercial and industry, so I will have to rezone these areas. But hopefully not too much damage is gonna be made. Okay, pretty much completed. I think I just need to create a new district here so that I can cover the industry, offices and commercial areas with a new district in which I am going to have the policy for big business benefactors to increase the amount of taxes I can get from the high density commercial areas. The industry should level up, some of it already has, actually almost all of it is at level 2, just this one is at level 1. Hopefully they will go up to level 3 as well. And I also need to get myself a new metro stop down here. It's a good thing it's right next to the industry because there is already lots of noise pollution and a little bit more from a metro stop in this area won't hurt anybody. Also to add a new line. I've been stretching the red line for a while now here. And it's the one stretched here as well, so I might as well make a new one. I can color it as blue and connect some of these areas together with... How would that go? This one would go down here, over here, and then I can't bring it back in a circle unless I go all the way, which isn't that bad, I think. I can get one to go all the way this full circle, and then I will proceed with it later on as I get new metro stations. This one will be dark blue, and over here I should also connect with at least one more. I guess that can be the bright blue in this area. I don't like having dead ends of metros like this. I'm not even sure how does that even work, because there's no place for them to turn around, but I guess we'll see at the moment what happens. So people move in, and then, oh, so it just goes backwards like the trains do, right? So it doesn't really matter if it's a dead end or not, it will just go forwards or backwards. Right. Okay, so no worries about that. Have these guys upgraded in levels? They will, hopefully. Let's see how they covered by all the services. A clinic is close by, so is a crematorium. an elementary school, a high school, a university. That's all covering these areas. The coverage from the fire station is kinda drawing to... Well, it is covering everything. I thought it would stop covering, and so is the police station, police headquarters, I mean. It's covering everything here. So I don't really know what else could I possibly want. That would be all the possible services here. The population 117,959. Hopefully it will go up to 118,000. I still have 1,500 jobs left to be filled, and the industry isn't even at level 3. Hopefully some of it will go to level 3, and the offices should go to level 3 as well. The commercial sector could go to level 3 if I get enough land value from new residential areas, if I ever get any new residential buildings over here. You can see here that there are a lot more commercial buildings at level 3 because they are close to the high land value given off by the residential buildings, as you can here clearly see. If they're covered by the green area, that means high land value, they will level up to level 3. Okay, what else can I do about this area? Well, pretty much nothing. Here we go, 118,000 population. I can take a look quickly at my exports and imports. I'm importing 5,000 goods, 5,200 goods, and exporting 2,500. So I almost reached a good balance with the exports, because I'm trying to reduce the exports to almost nothing, which will mean that all of my industry is producing everything that my commercial sector needs, and then I do not have to worry about extra traffic being created. I'm almost up to 14,000 people using my public transportation. That's around 10%, which I've seen in other people's cities happen the same way. So about 10% of the population uses the public transportation. Now I am making them pay for it, so it could be that they could go up to 15% if I could use a free public transportation policy across the city, but I cannot do such a thing, because then I would pretty much be losing around 15,000 per week, which I cannot afford. I mean, I could afford it for maybe a few years, and then my city would go bankrupt, so that's not gonna happen. I could be earning far more if only I could get more residential buildings to build up. But as you can see here, I still have empty areas in the newest parts of the city. I think everything is covered here properly. I once again have the problem of whether or not this thin line between the commercial and residential areas isn't catching any commercial zones, and as you can see, I am catching some of it after all. It is a problem because the residential area... Well, is it a problem? I guess when I take a better look at it, the policy for high-tech housing, tax rates for residential, parks and recreation, and pet ban only influences the high-density residential buildings, while the policy that would be influencing the high-density commercial is only the big business benefactor. So there actually is no reason for me to keep separating the residential areas from the commercial and industry and offices, because the policies are pretty exclusive to each zone. So I might as well connect these zones, these districts back into one big district, especially over here. I mean, the only thing that I cannot connect is the entire district here with the districts over here where I have reduced the taxes, because over here I have increased them, and over here there is a reduction in tax to make these buildings pop up in these new residential zones. So those are the only ones that I do not wish to connect, but I can easily connect this part here, this district for commercial and offices and industry with the residential district over here, and make one big district out of this. So now even if I do mix some of the residential with the industry with the commercial over here, it won't matter, because the commercial is going to be covered with the big business either from this district or this one. The only thing that matters is that the residential in here is covered by this district, which has the reduction taxation tax relief for high density residential. For some reason that had disappeared, because right, it disappeared because I had destroyed the district that was pure residential and connected it to the one over here. But now it should be fine. This whole area should be covered by a tax relief. I don't want to connect it with this one here, simply because I will probably soon disable the tax relief and implement increased tax for this area here once these buildings pop up here. I'm just waiting for a few more of them to go up, but this district here therefore needs to have a clear difference between these two. I mean, like I said before, I can connect the two districts over the commercial areas, but just the important thing is that the area that has a lot of residential that has yet to come up to be covered by a district that has the reduction in taxes and not the increase in taxes. 118,623, even the birth rate is higher than the death rate, but I still don't see any new buildings being built up. Pretty annoying that it takes so long to get more residential demand. I mean, I've been talking to people on forums, and I guess they're right when they say the old areas that are leveling up, they are taking in more sims into their households. That needs to be filled to its maximum potential capacity, so that's one of the places that the new sims go instead of building new buildings. But then again, there should be far more residential demand than there is now. I mean, it is the hard mode, the demand is lowered, but come on, I have everything covered by services, I have good happiness levels, I have all the utilities always, there are no shortages, there are no problems with health, even the noise pollution isn't as bad as it's, well, it is bad, but people aren't getting sick at the rate that would be something to become a problem. And like I said, there are no problems for the teams not to want to move in. I should have higher demand. If at this rate, I mean, if I'm getting 1000 population per video that takes 30 minutes, getting to 1 million would take a long time. And if this continues at this rate, I'm gonna find a mod that's going to increase the residential demand and just move on, because this is just too slow. And I know it's probably painful to for you as well to watch me trying to get 1000 population per video. If you guys have any other ideas on how to increase the residential demand, please tell me in the comment section. I cannot wait to get more population into the city. It's been taking over 40 videos just to get to 119,000. Can I do anything else here at this point? Like I said, I've pretty much run out of ideas. I don't know, do these things, I mean, they, I think, gain you the ability to get rid of some of the needs, for example, for education, to get more tourists, to get better health, to get clean power, but none of them would increase the actual demand for residential. So building monuments and unique buildings doesn't seem like something that would really help out. It is interesting though to see here how these buildings here, the industrial area that is at level 3 and 2, is far better covered by this fire station here than these are over here, even though the area coverage on the streets themselves is just as green over here as it is over here. So it's kind of giving off wrong data when you take a look at it. And what I see here is the same thing I see over here. These buildings are pretty dark green compared to the ones that are very close to the fire station itself. So just because the streets are covered by the area of effect of fire station does not mean that the buildings have a high coverage as well. I'll probably need to get a new fire station here somewhere in the middle, and then in between those two all of these areas should be covered. Where am I at? 119,600, population 500. How's the birth rate? 486 compared to 406 deaths. Seniors at 22%. I was kind of hoping I could get the senior count below 20%, but it either goes down to 22 or it goes up to 27. Right, I had dezoned these areas, but still haven't got new buildings to pop back up. I am going to zone them back and hope that they are actually going to come back here and build up. This is the zone, if you remember, that I switched from I think a double line of offices back into residential. And then when I had that problem with residential, which I still have, to get more teams to move in, I had dezoned these areas, hoping to get more of them over here. But as you can see, even these areas are kinda empty. I think I'm going to disable the text rays for this area here, and hopefully that will draw some more teams to move into here. Once I see these areas filled, if I ever see them filled, I will turn back on the text rays for that area. And the same thing goes for this area, it seems. I guess I will have to reduce the text here as well. Now these areas will have text at 9%, while the areas with the text rays will have it at 11. What is this thing? I don't think I've ever seen this thing. Oh, it's a level 4? Oh, these are 2 of them. I thought it was just one, but they go back to back. This looks so cool. I thought it was just one building, yet it's 2 different buildings back to back. Awesome. I always see something nice when I zoom in. I don't know why do I not zoom in more often. Well, in any event, I think this is pretty much everything that I had to do in this video. The only thing left for me to do is to wait and see if I'm going to have more buildings come up, if somehow I'm going to get more residential demand. I mean, I could try getting it by having even more open jobs. Over here I do have industry. I could extend the roads and try to gain... why do I have a two-way two-lane here? I already have this one here. This one I don't even need, I think. Not sure where the university is turned on to. Is it here? Or is it over here? Oh, I see, so the university is here. Well, never mind. I'll just I'll just bulldoze that piece there and leave the rest of it. Let's see, after the industry it would go with the offices 4x4 like that. Here's some more, and then 2 rows of commercial at 4x4. And hopefully with these new open jobs I will be able to get more teams to move in, because they will see that there are places for them to work at, and they will move into the newest areas that have a low tax, that are right here. These areas should have water, should have power. I still don't need to turn on a new power station. I haven't taken a look. I've been drawing the water from here for a while now, but the lake seems to be still the same depth. Or did it move a little bit? We'll need to find a way to see. Let's see, I will take a tree and plant it right here. If I see that the water is no longer this close to the tree, I will know that the amount of water has been lowered by pulling about 116,000 times 5, so about 560,000 cubic meters of water per week from here. The pollution probably isn't gonna spread anymore. Or is it? What did I just see here? I'm still at 0 pollution, but this is getting dangerous. I really hope I do not end up polluting my population. The problem is that the pollution goes out from here. You can still see these arrows. It gets all the way here, but then these things start pulling in that water, and you can see the water moving in that direction. Now it's easier to see it from up here. So they may end up pulling in that pollution. I really need to move even more of these things over to the left side. This is really a dangerous place. Interesting. Are they gonna keep pulling in the water at this rate, or are they gonna ruin this river? Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, they seem to be operating, and I seem to be getting the same amount of water, so everything should be okay. Although they do seem to be going off and on, so this may not be the best place for them. Yeah, I think it's because this thing is so far inland compared to when they were over here. Let me... what do I do? I guess turning off the ones here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will build 4 more over here. 2, 3, and 4. The dynamic water, pretty cool design, but as you can see, it can sometimes create problems. And you will also notice here, this place did not used to have these arrows for water movement and dynamic, but now that I have so many of these water pumping stations, the water has started moving towards them from the middle of the lake. The same problem that I created here, with so many pumping stations pulling the water from the river into here, and they're creating kind of a strange effect here. Well, the only important thing is that the pollution does not get sucked into my pipes and start making my team sick. How's the population? 120,800, so still more population, but still no new buildings. At least none of them over there. And none here, none new here. None of them new here, and probably none of them new here. I think it's only the teams who are moving into the already leveled up and built buildings. This could take a while as far as I can see. Well, in any event, this is all the time I have for this video. Thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for more.